Something about this forest feels off. Pines twist into bizarre shapes.
Oh, right, I forgot the title. The title is The Mutated Animals of Chernobyl. So I'm guessing they're talking about like the what happened to the ecosystem, in the area outside of the Chernobyl explosion.
Spider webs hang crooked and uneven. Red firebugs are crawling on the ground, but the patterns on their backs are warped. A bird flies overhead. Its beak is deformed. There's a reason for all this. This forest sits inside a highly radioactive exclusion zone. It's one of the most contaminated places on Earth. Not far from here, the largest nuclear disaster in history happened in 1986.
A nuclear accident in the Soviet Union, and the Soviets have admitted that it happened.
Deadly radiation is being released from...
Thousands died from the radiation's immediate and long-term effects. For humans, the area remains mostly uninhabitable until today. But nature stayed. Plants and animals, wolves, deer, wild horses, birds, and insects. But the radiation changed them.
Kära
And then you...
vi vet att kök inte får se röriga ut. Att det kan bli för mycket av det goda och att man inte ska blanda stilar. Just därför är vi glada att ingen frågade er. Epok, ditt kök, dina regler.
Yeah, it's unskippable. Bro, you know what's really sad? I kind of forgot ads existed. Like, I was so captivated by the intro, I just completely forgot about the existence of ads. And I actually thought for a second that, life is good, Like, we're living in a good, peaceful time. We have a good, peaceful life, and you hit me with that. Just instant wake up. Like, oh my god, man. And since it's YouTube, and since YouTube has stepped up their ad game, we're gonna see a whole lot more of that. I mean, look, bro. We're 1 minute, 17 seconds in, we already got a 15-second unskippable ad. We're gonna get so many more throughout this. In fact, let's do a little test, bro. What happens if I just skip ahead a little bit?
There are light frogs in high...
Action also involves broader systemic and
been published on Chernobyl.
Empty space,
I'm gonna stop
wildlife.
messing around. But you get the point. I think, we have to wait for a few seconds, watch a few seconds of this, and then we could test that, and I swear to God, there will be an ad immediately.
Spring 1986, in the dead of the night. Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant has just exploded. Massive amounts of highly radioactive material like iodine and cesium are hurled into the air. The radiation seeps into the cells of all living things in the area, including this deer. 30 minutes after the blast, it's dizzy and barely able to stay on its feet. The radiation has burned the mucosal tissue inside its digestive tract. Cells all across its body start dying. Blood circulation in the brain falters. And since the blood can't flow properly, pressure builds inside the skull. The deer's blood pressure crashes, it suffers seizures, and multiple organs fail. The next day, the deer is dead. In the following days and weeks, the pine needles change color, first to yellow, then to red. Trees die for kilometers around, giving the area a new name, the Red Forest.
Fuck no, bro. Can you imagine? Like, even right now, bro. Wait, show me this location on the map. I wanna look this shit up on Google Maps, bro. I wanna see it on like a satellite picture.
2 kilometers away, a shepherd dog lives in the town of Pripyat.
Wait, actually, let me do that shit myself. Unfortunately, though, one thing that Google Maps likes to do is, dox my location. So I'm just gonna do this for a few seconds. And then, yep. Oh, that's so annoying, man. Like, is there any kind of map that I can go into where that shit doesn't happen? I think Google Earth just kind of starts with the Earth as a whole, so maybe that's a better alternative. But anyways, okay, so let's see it. So Chernobyl, right, is up here. The red forest. I don't think I'm gonna find anything. Wait, there's what? There's actual street view. Wait, hold on. Nah, hold on for a second, bro. Hold on for a second. There's actual street view. June 2015. Why is there even another car here? What are we doing? Why does this place look so normal? Like, what? Wait, where was the power plant at? Who the hell even knows, man? Anyway, it's pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting, though.
For the past day, it's been feeling...
Like, would you and your friends go to the Red Forest and stay in the Red Forest for an hour for like $1 million?
Unwell, tired, and nauseous. Its owners are worried. They too feel under the weather, though they don't know why. Then a voice crackles over the radio with an announcement.
Внимание, внимание! Уважаемые товарищи! Городской совет народных депутатов.
Residents are informed about an accident at the nearby nuclear plant, but they are assured everything is under control. Just to be safe, people are told to leave town for 3 days, and to leave their pets behind. The family assumes they'll be back soon, so they leave enough food for the dog for a few days. But the Soviet authorities are lying. They're doing everything in their power to cover up a nuclear disaster of unprecedented scale. Like tens of thousands of others, this family will never return. Their dog is on its own now. 3 days later, the food is gone. On the 4th day, he leaves the house, hungry and searching for anything to eat. He encounters other dogs wandering the empty streets. They too were abandoned and
they're gonna start fighting each other, right?
Left behind.
Because they're gonna pack each other up now. That's what's gonna happen. What's up, bro? Sorry that I'm late. No worries. I mean, I didn't expect anybody to really show up anyway, so, you know. Appreciate you for tuning in. I'm watching, the Chernobyl, what's it called, bro? Like, basically, the title is called The Mutated Animals of Chernobyl. So they're basically talking about, the ecosystem around the area of Chernobyl, like, how it was affected. But I barely gotten into the video yet, so I don't really know. But yeah, they're talking about, like, how like all the people were evacuated immediately from the area, and that, their pets were still at home, and now they're trying to search for food because they're hungry. And my theory is that they're gonna start packing each other up and eat each other.
Suddenly, shots are fired.
Oh, okay, well, that was apparently the most wrong prediction I could have ever made. What the fuck why are there still people here? Get the fuck out. Packing up some dogs too, like, you should be escaping with it is the Soviet Union. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Y'all should be gone.
The Soviet authorities have ordered police to kill all stray dogs.
Why are there even police here in the first place? There shouldn't even be any people here, man.
An attempt to stop the animals from spreading radioactive material. The dogs flee.
Bro, it doesn't matter. Like, the whole area is filled with radioactiveness. You gotta get out.
Into the forest. Just like all the other animals here, they find themselves in the heart of the world's largest nuclear exclusion zone. Radiation remains dangerously high for months. Many animals develop chronic radiation sickness. Blood pools in their livers and spleens, lymph nodes swell, thyroids fail. The animals grow thin.
Sneaky, would you go to Chernobyl right now for 1 hour for $1 million? Would you do it?
And many die.
And bring like a friend or two.
Over the next 10 years, radiation levels drop significantly.
Like, what if you, me, and Freaky just went to Chernobyl just for like an hour, bro, and just stayed there and got like $1 million each?
The only humans left are workers and guards looking after the ruins of the nuclear plant. Beyond that, the area is almost completely abandoned. In this vast and empty space, wildlife can...
'Cause I'm pretty sure you are allowed to visit as long as you have like a tour guide or something. Yeah, I think it's not that radioactive anymore. I mean, it is, but like the thing is, I think you're allowed to visit Chernobyl as long as you have a tour guide with you, which implies that if you go to the wrong places, you could actually be like fucked. But you know, they're still like not recommending that you visit this place, so
spread freely.
I don't know. It kind of feels like a survival type situation almost for $1 million each.
The years, the zone evolves into one of Europe's largest nature reserves. Countless animals settle in, bears and lynx, moose and foxes, and multiple packs of wolves. Even some of the original residents remain. Hundreds of street dogs, descendants of the pets left behind, roam the area. Swallows skim over the treetops. Frogs leap through the undergrowth, and they are all followed by their silent companion, the radiation. The first thing you notice are the eyes.
One of the first signs of exposure to radiation is something called cataract in the eye. It's a cloudiness of the lens of the eye that happens to people who are exposed to higher levels of radiation.
That's Timothy Mousseau. He's a biology professor at the University of South Carolina. Few people, by the way, creatures.
I know, bro. Subscribe to Fern, man. Hold on. Subscribe to Fern, man. Come on now.
Chernobyl, as well as...
Because I have a feeling I'm going to be reacting... I've already reacted to a lot of their videos, and I'll probably react to even more, so... I'm making sure I'm shouting them out.
He does. He's talking to us from a research ship in the middle of the Pacific, studying the effects of nuclear weapon testing on wildlife.
Wait, what?
Pacific, studying the effects of nuclear weapon testing on wildlife.
We've had many exciting visits to Chernobyl. I've been going to Chernobyl pretty much 2 or 3 times a year, sometimes 4 times a year.
A so-called cataract is a clouding of the lens in the eye. It's a common disease in humans known as gray star. It blurs the vision, and its most severe form can cause total blindness. The high radiation levels in Chernobyl cause many animals to develop cataracts.
That's the thing, Sneaky. That's the thing. So, you can go to Chernobyl and have a chance of being fine, but you also have a chance of getting bullshit like this, alright? Permanent blindness from radiation. So it's kind of a gamble.
The landscape itself has changed too. This is what a natural pine forest looks like. Green needles, straight trunks. And this is what a pine forest looks like in the most contaminated areas of Chernobyl.
What? I mean, here's the thing, bro. I've seen trees that look weird and have been weirdly grown pretty often. But knowing that radiation did this to them seems very disturbing. Radiation does so many random things to people and animals and wildlife. It's just kind of, it's kind of a little scary just how random it is.
This trunk is twisted, stunted, and misshapen. The wood has changed its color. If you look closely at the rings, you can see exactly when the disaster happened. Near the base, there are these strips.
Right, because each of these rings are 1 year of the tree's life. That shit's so cool,
see
actually.
Exactly when the disaster.
So the tree was like this big, I guess, when the disaster happened. Like this white part right here, and then this orange part is, I guess, yeah, like the radiation affecting the color of the wood since then.
Happened. Near the base, there are these strange clusters of tangled leaves called witches' brooms. This forest doesn't just look eerily strange. It's a stark reminder of what our actions can do to nature. Seeing it can make you feel powerless, but it doesn't have to be that way. Planet Wild is a community-based environmental protection organization. Think of it as crowdfunding for nature. Every month, their community funds a carefully selected rewilding project to restore forests, bring back endangered species, and protect the oceans. Pledge to prevent stamp to the using after cool like this. But here, in Chernobyl's most contaminated areas, the gaps in the strands are far too large. The patterns are warped and chaotic.
By the way, Sneaky, if you want to send me a video to react to, you can do it now.
This is what a barn...
Because I don't think chat's going to be filled today with video recommendations.
Swallow usually looks like. Note the distinctive combination of blue-black feathers and a red face. This one from Chernobyl has white patches on its face. Its tail feathers are crooked and its beak deformed, stuck slightly open. A lump protrudes crooked.
What?
This one from Chernobyl has white combination of blue-black feathers and a red face. This one from Chernobyl has white patches on its face. Its tail feathers are crooked and its beak deformed, stuck slightly open.
What?
A lump protrudes beneath its plumage. A tumor. Many changes are not visible from the outside. You can't see that the swallow will live a shorter life and have lower chances to successfully reproduce. Red firebugs are native to Central Europe. Their vibrant red and black coloring with its symmetrical patterns helps ward off potential predators. But Chernobyl firebugs are different. The patterns on their backs are warped and asymmetrical. Some are missing an eye and the fine black lines are blurred. All of these changes...
Like, that's so weird, man. What's the science to this? How does radiation do this, man?
Is traced back to mutations in the genetic code. This is where the DNA is stored. The blue...
Oh, right. That's what it does. That's what... Now I remember. Right. That's what radiation does. It basically fucks up your DNA, aka the recipe for what you are, basically. So, for example, you know how cells, Sneaky, you know how like cells on our body die all the time and are replaced with new ones? Well, they're actually built, like the reason that the cells can be replaced on our body is because our DNA tells, I don't know exactly how it works, but the DNA basically says where the cells are supposed to be built, because the DNA is the recipe of you, like what you're supposed to look like, what kind of genetics you have, all of that bullshit, right? So when the DNA is fucked up, that basically means that the instructions are fucked up. So that means that you're gonna be fucked up after a certain amount of time, right? You might get organ failure. You might get some kind of weird like thing somewhere, some kind of mutated, like some kind of tumor, some kind of weird growth on you, like stuff like that. And that's what's happening to the animals too. In fact, I think like there's this one story about the tRNA and the mRNA gets fucked up. There was even a story about this Japanese guy who I think accidentally looked into like a hole where a lot of radiation was blasting out at the same time, and the radiation completely evaporated his chromosomes. Like every single chromosome was just gone, which meant that he had no recipe, which meant that from then on, when his cells would die, they would not get replaced. So he basically turned into a corpse, bro. That is some horror movie shit, man. And the scientists were trying to keep him alive too, because it had never happened to another person before. So they were trying to keep him alive, even though he was suffering, to get like results from experiments and stuff.
Print for the insect's entire organism. DNA is made up of 2 strands, twisted together in a shape called a double helix. It's made up of base pairs. The genetic information is stored in the sequence of these bases, kind of like a computer carrying information using ones and zeros. Several of those bases form a gene. The body reads the sequence through complex molecular processes. Genes act as a blueprint. They determine how the bug looks, the pattern on its back, and what it can and cannot digest. They also influence how long it lives, its vulnerability to certain diseases, and even its behavior. Scientists believe these blueprints make up only a tiny fraction of our DNA. Studies in humans suggest that around 8 to 15% of DNA are functional and actively doing something important. Radioactive atoms like uranium and cesium are unstable. They decay spontaneously, releasing radiation. That radiation carries so much energy it can damage living cells the moment it makes contact.
Yeah.
It can break DNA directly or split the water molecules in a cell. This creates smaller particles called free radicals. These free radicals then rip through the DNA. Base pairs can be swapped or deleted entirely, or the entire DNA strand can break apart.
That is so insane, man. Like, yeah, I never knew what DNA actually was up until a certain point. And when I understood what it was and what radiation does to it, man, oh my god. Horror movie shit, bro.
Radiation hits the DNA.
And this is the same thing, by the way, that we use in power plants to get immense power. Because it's like atoms splitting each other, like, which releases a lot of energy, kind of.
It damages it. Most of the time the damage is repaired, but often if there's enough radiation, this damage will persist. Sometimes it will lead to a disease like a cancer or a tumor or some other developmental problem.
Many of these mutations have no effect. The body either repairs them or they occur in parts of the DNA that don't serve an important function.
And that's, I think, another just thing that's just scary is that, yeah, bro, you get affected afterward, bro. So let's say that some kind of nuclear disaster happens near us and radiation, like radioactive material, spreads out over like over our neighborhood and it gets into our bodies. We might not really notice it that much immediately. Like we might notice that, oh, you know, the air's a little weird, you know, kind of tastes like metal, like my head hurts, but like nothing crazy. But in reality, your chromosomes are just getting absolutely pounded, all right? And nobody knows what you're going to look like in a few months' time. Even a few months. I'm pretty sure that's all it takes, like a few months. Not even years.
But sometimes those repairs go wrong. And that's when lasting changes can happen, like the ones we see in Chernobyl. These changes can even be passed down to future generations. But some...
Right! Because they get the same DNA. Because if the DNA becomes permanent, if the fucked up DNA inside you becomes permanent, and you reproduce, then your offspring will have the same genetics. So your offspring will also be fucked up. Oh, hell nah, bro. People need to do radiation tests before they do that shit.
Of the animals around Chernobyl aren't just mutated.
Or what I mean, radiation tests. I mean DNA tests. They need to make sure their DNA isn't fucked up before they like breed.
Seem to have adapted and are thriving in their new environment.
And that includes animals too. Like that goes for animals too, not just humans.
This is a tree frog. Normally tree frogs are green. But here in the exclusion zone, some of them are pitch black. The dark pigmentation likely comes from melanin. Melanin is what makes your skin darker in summer. Your body produces it to shield your skin from sunlight. But melanin can also help protect against other types of radiation. According to a 2022 study, the darkest frogs in Chernobyl were found in areas where radiation levels used to be especially high. So does that mean they've adapted to high radiation? Timothy Mousseau is not convinced. He says the data isn't strong enough to prove a causal link.
frogs in Chernobyl show no relationship between the melanism and radiation level currently. So inside Chernobyl zone, there are light frogs in highly radioactive areas and there are dark frogs in clean areas.
That is just one of the many scientific debates around Chernobyl's wildlife. What can truly be verified and what's too speculative? Both sides hold firmly to their findings. There's another organism that may be putting the benefits of melanin to work. This black fungus. One of them grows here, right inside Reactor 4, one of the most irradiated places on the planet. Radiation levels remain so high that nothing should be able to survive here. And yet, this fungus is thriving. Multiple independent studies suggest that this fungus may actually be using gamma radiation as an energy source, much like plants use sunlight for photosynthesis. Unlike in the frogs, the melanin in this fungus doesn't just block radiation. It seems to convert it into energy, which the fungus then uses to grow. Melanized fungi like this one have been found in other highly radioactive places.
I'm trying to find a video. Yeah, remember, I don't really care how long it is, as long as it's not like over 30 minutes. But yeah, you know what type of videos I'm into.
Astronauts have even studied.
They don't even have to be animated, they just have to be, I guess, good reaction content.
Aboard the International Space Station. Researchers hope.
You could even make drop several links or make a playlist if you have the energy to do that, if you feel unsure.
That one day this fungus could act as a natural shield against radiation, perhaps for space travel. As for the fungi in the reactor, it's still unclear whether they've truly adapted to the radiation or if they were just inherently able to cope with it. Larger mammals may have adapted to radiation exposure as well. At least that's what biologist Kara Love and her colleagues at Princeton University believe. They suspect that wolves living in the Chernobyl exclusion zone may be less likely to develop cancer or more resilient to the disease overall, despite constant exposure to high radiation levels. The theory...
That's one thing I've always wondered, bro. Like, even though it might not be likely, is there a chance that the radiation fucks up your DNA in a good way? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes you, more better? Like, it makes you stronger, it makes you smarter. Is that even possible? Because, imagine the radiation makes you grow, a third arm, right here. But that arm ends up being really useful. Like, you end up being able to win a lot more fights with it. Because you have 3 strong arms that can just beat everybody. You know what I mean? Probably not. It probably only fucks you up. But, yeah, bro. DNA is just such a big topic, bro. There's a lot of shit you can talk about when it comes to that.
It goes like this. Random and spontaneous mutations in DNA make some wolves less vulnerable to cancer. These wolves have a higher chance of survival, while others are more likely to die from the long-term effects of radiation, often from cancer itself. The survivors reproduce. Natural selection happens. Their offspring inherit the protective genes. Over time, they breed with wolves that are also better adapted to radiation, and so on and so forth. After a few generations, the whole pack is less prone to cancer. Researchers say the wolf's DNA evolved in regions around genes linked to the body's immune response to cancer. But is that actually realistic? The research hasn't been published yet, which means there's no way for us.
Please listen to me when I say this. As much as something may not, as much as something may sound incredible, what am I even talking about? As hard as something may be to believe in this world, trust me when I say this, it is possible, 100%. We're living in one of the biggest sandboxes that I have ever seen, bro. Literally, life is literally just a huge sandbox, man. It's just a huge free-for-all, a huge sandbox. It is literally meant for greedy people. It is meant for experiments. It is meant for stories. It's a sandbox, bro. It's creative mode, except people die. It's like creative mode, except you're not Steve, is basically what life is.
Us or anyone else to verify it. This study and many others have one thing in common. They all suggest that the Chernobyl nuclear disaster may have triggered evolution right before our eyes. Other scientists remain skeptical, including Timothy Mousseau.
We wrote a paper a few years ago where we reviewed all of the literature that had been published on Chernobyl, claiming to test for adaptations and rapid evolution. And in every case, except for maybe one, the data were too weak. They did not have the strength, the scientific strength to support this hypothesis of adaptation.
Mousseau has studied potential adaptations himself. He and his colleagues sampled colonies of certain bacteria in Denmark and at various sites across Chernobyl. The colonies are often found on the wings of swallows, among other places. Back in the lab, they exposed both sets of bacteria to radiation. Some colonies from Chernobyl actually reproduced better under radiation, especially those that had lived for years in areas with moderate background radiation. By contrast, colonies from Denmark, as well as those from the most highly contaminated parts of Chernobyl, were far less resistant to radiation. Because the experiment was carried out under carefully controlled lab conditions, the researchers are confident that this adaptation wasn't caused by any other environmental factor. To study the animals of the exclusion zone, Timothy Mousseau set up around 100 motion-activated cameras throughout the area. In late 2021, they recorded something strange. Russian soldiers.
What?
In February
Oh, okay, it's the invasion of Ukraine.
2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Russian troops occupied the
Yeah, what happened, bro? Did they go into the zone?
Exclusion zone for
They went into Chernobyl?
weeks. Overnight, nearly all research in Chernobyl ground to a halt.
Wait.
Invaded Ukraine. Russian troops occupied the exclusion zone for weeks. Overnight, nearly all research in Chernobyl ground to a halt. Some scientists were forced to flee the zone. When the Russian forces finally withdrew in the spring of 2022, researchers returned to find their work in ruins. Military vehicles had kicked up radioactive dust. Offices and labs had been ransacked. Computers and valuable equipment were stolen or destroyed. Long-term surveys were interrupted, and some irreplaceable research data may be lost forever. Several promising studies were put on hold indefinitely. Carol Love and her team never got the chance to return and study the wolves in the field. It's a bitter blow to our understanding.
So are they basically saying that, yeah, radiation could be a good thing if you use it in the right way? Is that what because I feel like that's almost what I got out of this a little bit. Because, I mean, think about it. A lot of things with life is that way. If you use it in the right way, it can be good. If you use it in the wrong way, it can be bad. Think about one thing in life that isn't like that. Nothing is always good and always bad, you know? Everything's a balance. Anyway though, that's a W video.